Attention San Clemente homeowners, are you thinking about selling your home? If so, I have some very important information that you'll want to hear. It pains me to see sellers make the same mistakes over and over again, especially when it's all so avoidable. I don't want you to leave any money on the table, and I'm sure you don't either. Having sold over $250 million of real estate in South Orange County over the last decade, I believe I have some very valuable information for you that you'll want to listen to. In this video, I'm going to give you the 5 most crucial mistakes that homeowners make before putting their property on the market. And please be sure to stay till the very end, as I'm going to cover some bonus tips on how to pick the right agent to represent you. By the way, my name is Ryan Schramm. I'm a local San Clemente realtor. If you've had any thoughts of selling your home, shoot me a simple text message. I'd love to have a conversation with you. My contact is right here below. Before we dive in, please understand these mistakes are not your fault. It's your agent's responsibility to make sure to educate you so these mistakes don't happen. The average homeowner sells every 7 to 10 years, whereas me, a professional agent, I do this every day. Okay, let's jump in. The 5 most common mistakes. Mistake number 5. We have to identify and tackle large and small fix-it items before the property goes on the market. Here's the goal. We want to eliminate any negative speed bumps for the buyer. Why? Because it's going to net you more money. Okay, here's an example. Super simple. Take care of burnt out light bulbs. I know it sounds easy, but I see it all the time. Let's get rid of any nail holes in the walls. Let's fix leaky faucets. Simple things like that, it will pay to take care of. 2 of the most common fix-it or preparation items that I recommend: paint and carpet. Now, there's only 2 paint choices that I would ever recommend that you paint your house before listing it. I know what they are. National home builders know what they are, and that's why they use it on their new construction product. And then carpet, there's only 1 carpet choice. Keep it simple. We want the home to be neutral and appealing to all the buyers that come through the property when they look at the house. These fix-it items are not meant to overwhelm you. Fully understanding on what is going to provide an ROI or return on investment is super important to discuss with a professional realtor like myself. I act as a consultant through the process, and it all takes place before the home even hits the market. What could simply cost you a few $1,000s up front might provide a return on investment of 5 or 10x. Mistake number 4, neglecting to evaluate emotional triggers, both positive and negative, for buyers. I tell my clients this all the time. One of the most difficult parts of selling a home, it begins before listing, and it's depersonalizing the property. It sounds sterile and it sounds daunting at times, but trust me when I tell you that removing personal items out of the property is going to allow a buyer to envision themselves owning your property. It's also going to translate to more money in your pocket at closing time. Let me give you an example of how a strong personalized property can have a negative impact on the psychology of a buyer. I went to list a property where the owner loved to hunt. He had taxidermy mounts throughout the property. I recommended taking those out, as that could be a negative emotional trigger for a buyer. As your agent, I act as those neutral eyes for you so that we can prepare the property before it hits the market. Some examples of a positive emotional trigger: making a kitchen look warm and inviting, or staging and cleaning out an office space so that a buyer walks in and can envision themselves working from home, or setting up a game area with a puzzle or a board game, something to help them trigger a positive response of a memory. Now, I'm not talking necessarily about professional staging here. I do recommend that in some cases, but it's really the small details when it comes to positive and negative emotional responses that are so very important. Hey, so if you're finding this information helpful, be sure to check out this video right here too. Mistake number 3, failing to optimize your property's online presence. Where's the first place buyers look for homes? 9 out of 10, it's gonna be online. The major websites: Zillow, Trulia, realtor.com. Your home has to have a top-notch online presence, because your home gets 1 first impression, and it takes a matter of seconds for buyers to judge the property. This is one of the most important reasons why choosing the right agent for the job is so mission critical. Is your agent planning on implementing a robust marketing strategy? What websites is your property going to be featured on? Does your agent have paid subscriptions to the largest websites? Can they articulate how the property is going to crawl through the internet. How about social media? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. All of these platforms play a key role in your property's online presence. Now, once you know the answers to those questions, you have to make sure that the property is prepared for the online photographs and the online videos. Over the years, I've interviewed dozens of residential real estate photographers and videographers to find the best property photographer, the best property videographer, and the best videographer for your property's social media content. Not all professional video and pictures are created equal. There is a huge disparity amongst professionals, and that's why I've interviewed to find the best. The second largest mistake that I see is clutter. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you on this one. Clutter is one of those things that people are sensitive to. We all live with some amount of clutter in our homes, but here's the thing is, we live in our homes the way we live in our homes. When you go to sell a house, this is more of a business decision, and removing clutter is one of those decisions that is going to put more money in your pocket. Now, my biggest recommendation here is to start removing clutter early in the process. As you approach that photograph date, it can get pretty chaotic if you're stuffing things under the beds and throwing things into the closets, as it's gonna look messy. The kitchen, the home office, and the laundry room are typically where clutter builds up the most. And for that reason, it's probably easier if you start with the bedrooms, start to thin those out first, and then work towards the more cluttered areas. If you start early, you won't feel rushed. Pack things up into boxes. You can put those boxes into storage. If you don't have storage, put them in the garage. Buyers will not be concerned about moving boxes stacked in the garage. It actually shows them this seller knows where they're going. They're motivated to sell their home. And it's going to make your move that much easier when escrow closes. I'll leave you with this point. Simply put, clutter distracts a buyer when they come through your house. They need to be focused on the highlights of the home, not on the clutter. And the number one mistake that I see sellers making is rushing and hastily choosing their listing agent. Now, to avoid this, it takes patience and planning. But if done correctly, can absolutely put more money in your pocket as a seller, 5 to 10% more in most circumstances. Now, I've been on listing presentations where I show up and the homeowner tells me they want to have their house on the market by the weekend. That's not realistic. Properly selling a home takes planning and counseling leading up to the point when it goes on the market so that the home can reach the largest audience of buyers possible. This could take weeks, or in some instances, it might take a couple of months. So no matter where you're at in the process of selling, please be sure and reach out to me sooner than later. It's as simple as sending me a text message. I have my cell phone number up for you right here. Reach out. When selecting an agent, look for the 3 R's: reviews, referrals, and references. You should pay attention to the reviews posted on Google and Zillow. Those are 2 large platforms where reviews are posted. Look for things like, how did the agent communicate? Did the agent sell the property for a great price? Reviews can be a wealth of knowledge. Next, ask your friends or your family for referrals of agents who they've had success with. Who did they use to sell their home? How did they end up determining to work with that agent? Once you have a referral, an agent, reach out to that person. Ask them for references. A good listing agent will be happy to provide you with references of clients that they've worked with that you can speak to. While not the end-all be-all, experience is extremely important. I've been doing this for a little over a decade and have sold over $250 million of real estate in South Orange County. Data and statistics like that of your agent's performance should resonate with you when conducting an interview. Now, if you live or have a vacation home somewhere outside of my area, make sure the agent you're interviewing has sufficient experience, especially in your local market. You want an agent with hyper local knowledge. And to determine that, I always recommend speaking with at least 2 or 3 agents. Now, during that interview, the agent should show up prepared with a full marketing proposal. Remember, this agent is the person that's going to be the spokesperson for your home. The way they conduct the interview is very much the way that they're going to end up selling your property to agents and buyers. Your agent's marketing plan should include the following: open house strategy, property postcards and flyers, professional photography and videography. Ask Ask for examples. I can't stress this enough. Videography is so important in the marketing process for a home. Heavy use of social media, newspaper advertising, internet sites that market to agents and buyers, all of these things create a very robust and well-rounded marketing campaign. It's also crucial that your agent responds to your questions and concerns in a reasonably timed manner. During the interview process, make sure and ask your agent how they like to communicate. Is it over text, email, phone calls, all three? Talk about it. Do they have a well-trained staff that is there to assist you? My team is a well-oiled machine of specialists that allow me to focus on my clients and selling their property. Those are my 5 mistakes to avoid before you list your house for sale. If you have any real estate needs or if you've had any thoughts of selling, reach out to me. It's as simple as sending me a text message. My contact information is here on the screen. Otherwise, check out this video playlist over here for further guidance on how to prepare your home for sale.